Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's ceremony. You will be given cues when to stand and when to be seated. As a reminder, military members should salute on the first note of ruffles and flourishes and the national anthems and order arms on the last note of the music. During the national anthems, our civilian guests may place their right hand over their heart. Please silence all electronic devices as our ceremony will begin shortly. Thank you.
Senhoras e senhores, sejam bem-vindos à cerimônia. Dar-lhe-emos indicações de quando devem se levantar e sentar. Levantaremos e os militares devem fazer continência à entrada das autoridades que presidem e durante os hinos nacionais de Portugal e dos Estados Unidos. Por favor, querem desligar os telemóveis e aparelhos eletrônicos. Obrigado.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of our presiding officers, Commander, 3rd Air Force, 17th Expeditionary Air Force, Lieutenant General Timothy Ray, and Commander, 86th Airlift Wing, Brigadier General Ty Thomas, welcome to today's ceremony. This morning, the 65th Air Base Wing will be redesignated as the 65th Air Base Group under the 86th Airlift Wing.
Bom dia, senhoras e senhores. Em nome das autoridades que presidem, o comandante da 3ª Força Aérea, a 17ª Força Aérea Expedicionária, Tenente-General Timothy Ray, e o comandante do 86th Airlift Wing, Brigadeiro-General Ty Thomas, sejam bem-vindos à cerimônia. Esta manhã, a 65th Air Base Wing será redesignada como 65th Air Base Group, sob o comando do 86th Airlift Wing.
The 65th Air Base Wing has a proud heritage, tracing its roots back to the World War II era. The wing's current designation occurred when the 65th Support Wing redesignated as the 65th Air Base Wing on 1 October 1993. As we witness today's redesignation, we are reminded of this proud lineage that will remain with the 65th Air Base Group, along with all honors awarded the wing.
A 65th Air Base Wing tem uma herança orgulhosa com suas raízes que remontam à era da Segunda Guerra Mundial. A atual designação do destacamento ocorreu quando o 65th Support Wing foi redesignado como 65th Air Base Wing a 1 de outubro de 1993. A cerimônia de redesignação que testemunhamos hoje faz-nos lembrar a linhagem orgulhosa que permanecerá com a 65th Air Base Group com todas as honras concedidas ao 65th Air Base Wing.
We are honored to have some special guests with us today.
Temos a honra de ter entre nós hoje alguns convidados especiais.
First, please let me introduce Mrs. Beth Rothrock, wife of Colonel Rothrock, and their daughter, Grace. Mrs. Jenny Sheff, wife of Colonel Sheff, and their children, Luke, Kelsey, Ashley, and Emily. We would also like to recognize some of our distinguished guests visiting today. The Mayor of Praia da Vitória and his wife, Marlene. The Mayor of Angra do Heroísmo. The Town Councilman of Santa Cruz. The Deputy Town Councilman of Lajes. The Azores Air Zone Commander. The Port Captain of Praia and Angra, who is also representing the commander of the Maritime Zone of the Azores, and his wife, Paula. The Chief of Operations of Army Regiment No. 1, who is also representing the commander of the Military Zone of the Azores. The commander of Air Base No. 4. We also welcome all senior officers, commanders, host nation representatives, directors, chiefs, first sergeants, family, friends, and the men and women of the 65th Air Base Wing. Thank you for attending.
Damos os bem-vindos a todos os nossos convidados especiais, também a todos os oficiais superiores, comandantes, diretores, chefes, primeiros sargentos, familiares, amigos e as mulheres e homens do 65th Air Base Wing. Muito obrigado pela vossa presença.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, presentation of the command, and the playing of ruffles and flourishes.
Iros de mar, nobre povo, nação valente e imortal, levantai hoje de novo o esplendor de Portugal. Entre as brumas da memória, ó pátria, sente-se a voz dos teus igrejosos avós, que há de guiar-te a vitória. As armas, sobre a terra, sobre o mar. As armas, pela pátria lutar. Contra os canhões marchar. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Chaplain Captain Kovos. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Major Travis Sears will now deliver the invocation.
Senhoras e senhores, o capelão-major Travis Sears vai agora proferir uma oração.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to join me in prayer. Almighty God, as we gather today for the redesignation ceremony of the 65th Air Base Wing to the 65th Air Base Group, recall with honor and gratitude all that has been bestowed upon this unit in years past. For missions accomplished, for courage displayed and devotion to duty, the members of the wing have brought great credit upon themselves and the United States Air Force. As people of principle and leadership, they have demonstrated through their dedicated efforts the ideals which have helped mold and make this installation great. I especially ask you to be with Colonel Rothrock and his family as they prepare for this next chapter in their lives. Thank you for his steadfast leadership, a time in which the wing was led with pride and passion and professionalism. And now as we make this transition at Lajes Field, I ask you to be with Colonel Chef Grant him continued strength and wisdom as he takes lead of the 65th Air Base Group, and also for General Thomas as the group aligns with the 86th Airlift Wing. May the tradition of excellence that has been established here continue. May those of us who serve here at Lajes Field renew our dedication to integrity and excellence in all we do. And as the United States and Portugal continue this highly valued partnership, may we be grateful for all who have served here at Lajes Field. Ask for your blessings on each of them as we uphold and defend the world's freedom. And now, may all of us present be encouraged to do our best each and every day, and let us once again be reminded of what we are dedicated to preserve, and help us to lead others through an honorable example. This I ask. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Major Sears. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant General Timothy Ray.
Senhoras e senhores, é a minha honra de apresentar o Tenente General Timothy Ray.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here on such an absolutely beautiful day for a very special occasion and certainly for a very important place. Before I begin, let me just extend some personal thank yous and welcomes. First of all, let me say thanks to all those who worked so hard to make this such a great ceremony. I appreciate all the hard work that went into making this happen, so there's an attaboy. Let me also say thanks to the commanders, to the chiefs, and the first sergeants. Thanks for your leadership every day to make this mission a reality. You do make the difference here, and I appreciate all that you do. For our host nation guests, thank you so much for being here today. We could not do this without you. You are a tremendous partner, and you do humble us by your presence here today. Thank you for showing. For our team here, so for Team Rothrock, Miss Beth and Grace, it's good to meet you guys, and certainly Beth, it's good to know that you're going to be part of Team Ramstein here very near future. And for Grace, heading to college, off to Kalamazoo, it's a great adventure. I hope that works out great for you. And for the chefs, Miss Jenny and the kids, for Luke, for Kelsey and Ashley and Emily, thanks for being here. I guess Sunday is the big birthday for Emily, so we need to say happy birthday to her. So thanks for making the trip and being here for this. What I'd like to say here is when I took command back about a month and a half ago, I made the point that the American air power, and particularly the American airmen, are the difference in the success or the failure of the combined and joint team. And then when you look at the location where we are now, and I call this the strategic crossroads of the world between Europe and Africa, that certainly is an incredibly important statement. And to defend that particular comment, one of the first things I would do to defend that comment would be the example that the 65th sets every day. All that you do to make things happen flowing east and west and for the peace and stability out here in the Atlantic is so important. Rock, for your leadership here, I just want to say thanks. An incredibly great job on your part. We do talk about the mobility and the movement, but let me also highlight your great work with the intel community and closing those gaps. Certainly the role your team played here with the Ebola crisis was tremendous, with 17 missions, 27 evacuations, and Rock, most importantly, you saved 6 lives, and that's no small feat, so please take some pride in that. I mentioned to the wing yesterday that anyone can lead when things are going easy. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when you talk about drawdown or a change in the mission, that is incredibly difficult. And so, Rock, let me just echo the comments and the sentiments of Ambassador Sherman, that you did execute that with tremendous grace and style, and we certainly appreciate the dignity that you did approach that with. So a job well done, and we look forward to having you on Team Ramstein here in the USAFE Africa staff. Colonel Chef, I'm not going to say a lot more about your role. I know General Thomas is going to address that. But I trust when I depart, you'll have a full understanding of the shoes you have to fill, the difficulty of the mission, and certainly the example that's been set for you and the grace and the style into which you need to execute that. Let me turn my attention to our host nation partners here. You know, when I think about Lajes, and I've always heard about this place, this is my first trip here, And I look at the location, and it's so important. I think about the history here, your role in World War II in the battle for the Atlantic, and the tremendous difference that made. And think about the Cold War and your role in the anti-submarine mission that was so important to keep stability out here in the Atlantic. And I think about today for your search and rescue, and then all that you do to enable the movement of forces, East and West, Allied and U.S., and the difference that makes is such a critical capability. Know that today that when we change this command, this is not a shift in the commitment of the United States to the Portuguese people. Certainly it is an incredible strategic partner, and we remain committed to that relationship, both as a bilateral friend and ally and as part of the NATO alliance. You sit at the strategic southwest corner of an important alliance, and everything you do here makes such a great difference. And I think I certainly appreciate all that you do to make the mission happen. And in closing, let me just turn my attention to the airmen of the 65th Air Base Wing. Thank you so much for what you do every day. This is an incredibly important mission. I applaud the style and performance here. I do certainly look forward to continued news of your success and accomplishments as the 65th Air Base Group, and I leave you in great hands with Colonel Sheff and certainly with an outstanding wing commander, General Thomas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, General Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the medal presentation.
Senhoras e senhores, levantem-se, por favor, para a entrega de uma condecoração.
Attention to orders. Colonel Martin L. Rothrock distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 65th Air Base Wing, Lajes Field, Azores, Portugal, from 1 July 2014 to 14 August 2015. During this period, Colonel Rothrock's exemplary leadership, diligence, and devotion to duty facilitated the delivery of expeditionary aircraft, personnel, and global communication capabilities to 5 combatant commanders. Colonel Rothrock was instrumental in leading base-wide military operations, delivering 134 fighter aircraft, 5.9 million gallons of jet fuel, and safely executing over 6,200 aircraft operations. These efforts supported numerous contingency operations to include Operations Enduring Freedom, Atlantic Resolve, Inherent Resolve, and United Assistance. Additionally, Colonel Rothrock's advocacy, oversight, and action drove the seamless execution of a $13.2 million digital airport surveillance radar system installation, a $5 million high-frequency antenna system upgrade, and a $12.5 million fuel system refit. Furthermore, his focus on innovation, contingency planning, training, and transparent communication preserved airmen's morale and built trust with the local national workforce during a one-year strategic pause in the Lajes streamlining effort. Colonel Rothrock also guided the creation of airfield, logistics, medical support, and command and control procedures to ensure 28 Ebola medical evacuation flights were efficiently received, refueled, and departed, saving the lives of 7 American citizens. Finally, Colonel Rothrock's impeccable counsel to senior Air Force, Department of Defense, and Department of State officials concerning Lajes drawdown and operational issues significantly contributed to preserving relations with Portugal during a period of intense bilateral consultations and helped reinvigorate base streamlining efforts expected to save $35 million annually. The superior initiative, outstanding leadership, and personal endeavor displayed by Colonel Rothrock reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, General Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is now my honor to introduce the Commander, 65th Air Base Wing, Colonel Martin Rothrock.
Comandante 65th Air Base Wing, Colonel Martin Rothrock.
Lieutenant General Ray, Brigadier General Thomas, Brigadier General Elvish, Mayor Montero, Marlene, Mayor Mensish, honored guests and friends, all the men and women, Big A Airmen of the 65th Air Base Wing. I stand before you today as a man whom is truly grateful. That is the only word which properly captures how I feel. I am grateful to God who has put me in this magnificent place. It has greatly strengthened my faith to be surrounded by such awesome beauty on this island. I am grateful to have my wife Beth and my daughter Grace in my life. I often feel guilty when I'm traveling and Americans will thank me for my service and sacrifice. I often feel that they are thanking the wrong people in our family. I cannot help thinking that it is Beth whom is the example of service in our family, and it is Grace who is the example of sacrifice. Beth, despite the obstacles and the challenges in your own life, you have dedicated yourself to making a big difference in the lives of our airmen, families, Portuguese friends, and neighbors. And you did so in spectacular fashion. Grace, you are the true patriot of our family and a model of resiliency. You have lived up to your name by serving your country with grace and dealing with my third remote in 7 years and graduating this year with a fine academic record and a scholarship to a fine college after attending 4 high schools in 4 years. You've overcome incredible challenges, and I'm very proud to be your father. I am grateful, after 29 years in uniform, that I am able to serve in the United States Air Force. I have recently and consistently read from critics that the United States is a fading power, withdrawing from its position of leadership in the world. What I have seen here is different. I have seen, as Lieutenant General Ray says, that air power makes a difference in this world. I've seen aircraft that have come through here and supported the Ebola fight and countless counterterrorism operations in Africa, aircraft and crews and capabilities that have trained our allies and partners, that have deterred and contained Russian aggression, and that have fought to protect innocent people suffering needlessly in the Middle East. I am grateful for the opportunity to lead airmen, especially as the wing commander for the magnificent airmen of the 65th Air Base Wing. It was you who put in the extra hours to provide world-class hospitality to fighter coronets and transient air crews. It was you who rebuilt our plans, expertly controlled 12,000 aircraft in a joint environment, exercised aggressively, innovated, trained for emergencies, deployed, repaved most of our runway, took care of our buildings, took care of our utilities, fed, housed, cared for others, protected the base, passed 7 comm inspections while expertly maintaining systems in a corrosive environment, ran programs normally managed by airmen of much higher rank throughout our wing, and built and sustained relationships with our Portuguese allies. All this, and so much more, you did while dealing with uncertainty, a declining force structure, and the separation for most of you from your families. I am grateful for the Portuguese Air Force and the Portuguese Joint Military, especially for Tito Mendonça and all our hosts at Air Base 4, and for the relationship that I was able to cultivate with now Lieutenant General Rollo and the headquarters Azores Air Zone staff. I could not ask for better professionals to work with than the Portuguese Air Force, true brothers in arms. I am grateful for getting to know and appreciate the people of Terceira and the Portuguese employees in our wing. A partir desta momento sempre terá o povo português no meu coração. Jamais vos esquecerei a vossa dedicação demonstrada para a 65th Air Base Wing e a bondade que demonstraram para mim e minha família. It may be apparent from my poor pronunciation that I have not learned much Portuguese this 15 months. I have learned a lot from all of you, though. Your dedication and loyalty is unmatched, and you truly nurture our airmen at work and in your community. This island has a beautiful culture, and I was glad to be part of it. I am glad that it is now apparent that the changes and challenges we have faced together have, as I very hopefully and optimistically predicted when I assumed command, have also brought opportunities for many of you. Brigadier General Thomas, Colonel Chef, you inherit a great organization that, although in the midst of change, has a culture of excellence, loyalty, and dedication, shared both by Americans and Portuguese in partnership. They will make you proud. I will conclude my remarks with a quote from the esteemed Portuguese poet, Fernando Pessoa. The value of things is not the time they last, but the intensity with which they occur. I think that is true. These 15 months have been intense. The beauty, the relationships, the responsibility of command, I have greatly enjoyed it all. I have greatly enjoyed the opportunity to be the last commander of the 65th Air Base Wing. I am truly grateful.
Thank you, Colonel Rothrock. At this time, the men and women of the 65th Air Base Wing would like to render a final salute to Colonel Rothrock.
Os homens e mulheres da 65th Air Base Wing vão agora prestar a última continência ao Coronel Rothrock.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we witness the 65th Air Base Wing redesignation as the 65th Air Base Group.
Senhoras e senhores, levantem-se, por favor, para a cerimônia de redesignação da 65th Air Base Wing para o 65th Air Base Group.
Attention to orders. Special Order GD-27, effective 14 August 2015. Under authority DAF A1M Memo 2627T and AFI 38-101. Headquarters, 65th Air Base Wing, Lajes Field, Azores, Portugal, is redesignated as Headquarters, 65th Air Base Group. Concurrently, Headquarters, 65th Air Base Group is relieved from its present assignment to 3rd Air Force, Air Forces Africa, and is assigned to the 86th Airlift Wing.
Sir, I relinquish command.
Now, Lieutenant General Ray and Colonel Rothrock will furl the 65th Air Base Wing flag to symbolize its redesignation to a group.
O Tenente General Ray e o Coronel Rothrock vão agora guardar o estandarte da 65th Air Base Wing para simbolizar a sua redesignação para um grupo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Thomas will now unfurl the 65th Air Base Group Guidon, symbolizing its activation. All lineage and honors of the 65th Air Base Wing will continue under the 65th Air Base Group.
O Brigadeiro General Thomas está a desfraldar o estandarte do 65th Air Base Group, simbolizando a sua ativação. Toda a linhagem e honras concedidas ao 65th Air Base Wing continuarão com o 65th Air Base Group.
Colonel Chef will now assume command of the newly activated 65th Air Base Group.
Coronel Chef vai agora assumir o comando do novo 65th Air Base Group.
Under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51-604 and Special Order Number GTC-15-16, by order of the 86th Airlift Wing Commander, Brigadier General John T. Thomas, Colonel Richard Chef is appointed commander of the 65th Air Base Group, effective 14 August 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is my pleasure to introduce Brigadier General Ty Thomas.
Senhoras e senhores, é minha honra de apresentar o Brigadeiro General Ty Thomas.
Well, good morning, everyone, and it certainly is a special day today. It's a special day for several reasons. First, it's certainly a special day because this is an opportunity to welcome the airmen. And when I say airmen, as mentioned before by Colonel Rothrock, we use that term to specify Big A airmen. It's officers enlisted in uniform. It's U.S. government civilians. And very important here, it's local national civilians. Residents here on Terceira Island, part of Portugal. You are part of our airmen in this airbase group in the 86th Airlift Wing. It's also special because, although I'm not commanding here from on the island, I'm very humbled and privileged to realize that the 86th Airlift Wing and I now have the responsibility for such a historic and strategic location and organization. The heritage of this wing and now airbase group is well known throughout our Air Force. I look forward to upholding that tradition. Let me put out some special greetings from the wing. Certainly to my colleague, and had an opportunity to meet him this morning, General Elvish. Welcome, and it's good to meet you, and I look forward to working with you. Certainly also a pleasure to meet two of the local mayors here, Dr. Montero and Dr. Merizish. Pleasure to meet you also. I look forward to having opportunities to work with you in the future. Certainly, again, I want to extend my greetings to the airmen of the 86th Airbase Group. You're now part of the mighty 86th. We're now a team. You can count on all the other 8,000 or so members of the mighty 86 to work with you for success in your mission here at Lajes Air Base. And certainly to the families that are present. Colonel Rothrock's family, Beth and Grace, and Colonel Chef's family. Jenny, it's good to see you here, and a pleasure to meet you last night and talk a little bit, and then to meet the kids this morning. Luke, Kelsey, Emily, and Ashley. What a great little group there. Certainly some thank yous are in order. As General Ray mentioned, these ceremonies don't go off easily and without great effort. This one has gone fantastic. So I applaud the men and women, or airmen of the 68th Airbase Group, 65th Airbase Group. General Ray, sir, thank you for the support that you extend to all your wings, the 86 being one of several. Thank you for being here today, and also, sir, the support that we're going to need you to provide in the future. We know that it's there and forthcoming, and thank you for that. Colonel Rothrock, it's very clear, just in the time period that I've had the opportunity to work with you in preparation for this day, and also in the last 24 hours since we've been here, that you and Beth have poured your heart and soul into this organization. Thank you for that. Thank you for the leadership that you've exhibited. Certainly there are partners here. All of the Portuguese military who partners with the airmen of the Lajes Air Base and the 65th Air Base Group, thank you for the support in the past as well as that which you will provide in the future. It is very important. As well as those of all the local communities, some of the leaders which I have not had the opportunity and the pleasure to meet. Thank you for your support now and in the future. So Colonel Chef, welcome to the mighty 86th. Rick, it's good to have you on the team. I have a brief set of guidance to you. We've talked about it briefly this morning, but the first is that you are charged with safe and effective mission accomplishment here at Lajes Air Base. Every day there are missions that are vital to our Air Force and our allies that flow through here. That is your job. The second, it is very, very important that we complete the transition activities that have been set in motion by Colonel Rothrock. There is a plan, it is agreed upon, and it is something that we must execute smoothly and wisely. And then third, as time passes over the next year, although the planning has been excellent, we must all realize that no plan, passes reality and contact with implementation without some adjustments that might need to be made. You will, and your team here, become the experts on how Lajes Air Base and the 65th Air Base Group operate under the new set of conditions that exist at the end of the transition. There will be a time when we will rely on your expertise and that of your airmen to figure out what, if any, adjustments need to be made to perfectly match the responsibilities here to the resources and organization that exists. I look forward with working you as we get to that point. particularly for you, but for all the airmen of the 65th Air Base Group, we must also remember one key point. Command is fundamentally a human endeavor. Each step of the way, remembering that. Remembering the dignity of the individuals. American, Portuguese, military, civilian. That is how we conduct ourselves, and that is how command successfully is executed. Finally, to all, Chief Master Sergeant Easton, my command chief, and I, this is not the first time nor the last time you will see us. We look forward to opportunities to come back here to Lajes, to learn better about the mission being executed, to meet and learn more about the airmen executing that mission, to build partnerships and friendships with the Portuguese military and the local community. And I look forward to those opportunities, and I know Chief Easton feels that way as well. So to all, thank you again for your attendance today, and thank you very much for your support and continued partnership with the 65th Air Base Group and the 86th Airlift Wing. Thank you.
Thank you, General Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the 65th Air Base Group, Colonel Richard Sheff.
Senhoras e senhores, o comandante do 65th Air Base Group, Coronel Richard Sheff.
Well, bon dia and good morning. It's very humbling to be part of such a momentous occasion. Let me start by echoing my welcome to all our distinguished guests, commanders, chiefs, airmen, family, and friends of Lajes, Mayor Montero, Mayor Meneses, and Brigadier General Elfish. Sirs, welcome and thank you for your support to our airmen, and I look forward to continuing the strong relationship between our two countries. General Ray, sir, thank you for being here today and for the leadership and support you and the Chief Wright give to the airmen here at Lajes and across the AOR. Please pass on to General Gorns that the 65th Air Base Group stands ready to continue the legacy of excellence and that we are truly in the fight. General Thomas, sir, your guidance is loud and clear. Thank you for entrusting Chief Walker and I with the privilege of leading these airmen, both military and civilian. We are honored to be part of the 86th and look forward to working with you and Chief Easton as we forge a strong, effective relationship with you and the rest of our wing. Colonel Rothrock, sir, thank you for leading the airmen here at Lajes with a passion for their well-being and a clear focus on mission accomplishment. It is clear that you have delivered a warfighting platform more than capable of meeting the needs of our Air Force, the United States, our gracious host nation, and our allies. I would also like to thank you and Ms. Beth for the welcome and the mentoring you both have provided Jenny and I. And now to the military and civilian airmen of the 65th Air Base Group. First, I want to say thank you so much for the welcome here and for this wonderful ceremony. I want to thank you for executing your mission so well. Prior to this week, I had visited the island only twice. My first visit came while flying one of many C-5 missions across the Atlantic. I was a co-pilot at the time, and our aircraft was having a little bit of maintenance issues in flight, something not too uncommon for a C-5. And so we made the decision to land here to fix the problem. With the utmost of professionalism, we were met by ground crews in the middle of the night who immediately got to work helping us with the problem. Our crew was well taken care of, and during our stay, our jet was repaired and we were on our way the next day. Having this safe haven here proved crucial to safely finishing our mission, and I know that there are countless other stories by other air crews with similar experiences. My second visit was only a couple years ago when my family and I were on the way to PCSing to Italy. Even though our layover was short, my family was well cared for, to include our two pets. That was our first contact with Europe, and for my children, their first step on foreign soil. We truly felt welcomed. You see, this is the gateway to Europe and points beyond for so many of our soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen and their families. And the welcoming impression you make every day is no doubt as good or as better than the welcome my family received. These two vital mission sets are what you do day in and day out, and you do it very, very well. But perhaps your greatest contribution is not what you do every day, but what you prepare for every day. When you research the history of this airfield and the nearly 70-year relationship with the U.S. forces and our Portuguese hosts, you can clearly see the tremendous strategic capability resident in this installation. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a warfighting platform capable of contributing greatly to the defense of our allies and partners in the pursuit of peace. This is why we are here, and this is what we will continue to do well. Thank you for taking on this mission with the utmost of professionalism, and please pass on my thanks to your families as well. Most importantly, I want to thank my wife and 4 children. You have done so much to love me and support me through this crazy life. You have made so many sacrifices. Thank you for being with me this week. Hold me accountable this year. Keep me humble, and I love you. And finally, I'd like to thank God for giving me this opportunity. In his final words to the nation of Israel, King David relayed that when one leads men justly and in the fear of God, that leader can bring light to those he has been entrusted with. My promise to you, the 65th Air Base Group, is simple. I will serve you all by leading justly and professionally as we open a new chapter in the great story of Lajes Air Base. Thank you, and obrigado, and let's go to work.
Thank you, Colonel Chef. At this time, the men and women of the 65th Air Base Group would like to render a first salute to Colonel Chef.
Neste momento, os homens e mulheres do 65th Air Base Group irão prestar a primeira continência ao coronel-chefe.
I do as well. Let's get it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Please follow our distinguished visitors through the receiving line and join us for a reception at the Torque as we welcome our new commander and his family. Thank you for attending this historic event for Lajes Field, and have a pleasant day.
Senhoras e senhores, está concluída a cerimônia. Os convívios estão cordialmente convidados para uma recepção no Clube Americano para felicitar o novo comandante e a sua família. Obrigado por assistirem a este evento histórico para a base das Lajes e lhes desejamos um agradável dia. Obrigado.
We talked on the phone. Remember? Okay, camera 2. Let's leave camera 2 alone and everything else. Let's start in a